In this video, I'm going to tell you how one phone call literally doubled my freelance rate overnight. And the crazy part is I just wanted to get rid of someone. That one call exposed a big lie I was telling myself for years, that I wasn't worth more. And I'm pretty sure some of you, if not most of you, will feel the same way about your 3D freelancing. So stick to this video and let me tell you the story how this changed for me. All right, so let's rewind. Before that sad call, my typical day was like 10, 12, 14-hour days maybe of just busy work, just busy all the time, saying yes to every client that was there because I thought this is what freelancing should be. I was doing like long days, of course said yes to every change they had, worked over the weekends, and I thought this is freelancing and I need to do that. And I needed to do that because I needed to do this much work to earn the money I wanted to earn. So this was my everyday situation. Like I can't charge more. I'm not worth more. So I need to work more. I need to hustle, hustle, hustle. And this basically led also to a situation where I was not able to really work on my business, to think about how I would position myself to do anything that was in a long-term thinking situation. It was all just there's a fire, extinguish it. So it's all less just like reacting. Basically, I was just reacting, busy all the time, but never building something. The turning point came on I think it was a Thursday afternoon. I was preparing for the next weekend shift because my current projects demanded that because I was always in work mode. And then my phone rang, unknown number, had no clue. So I answered it just while clicking through some folders, preparing some stuff, always working. And then there was a client, and they somehow found me on the internet. I don't even remember how. They weren't referred. They were just a random find, basically. And they had a project, and my calendar was full, like full. Even though I was taking everything, couldn't take anything more. So I remembered like a lesson I heard before: never say no, just make them say no. So my idea was, how do I make them say no? And it was just all like on the phone, talking while clicking, and just like I need to get rid of them. So I just stated a number that I thought was ridiculous. I listened shortly to them, heard what they needed, knew what I was usually charging for stuff like that, and stated a double as high number. So I just doubled my rate in that. And of course, I was thinking they will now say no, and I can get rid of them. But what happened next basically stopped me in my track. I didn't expect that because without hesitation, like no hesitation at all, they said, okay, sure, let's find how do we start this. And then I hesitated because I needed to understand what just happened. And the implications were huge. I mean, basically, they valued me more than I valued myself. So it was a lot to take in for me. And I honestly didn't really understand why they would. But it was a wake up call for me that I was, before that, undercharging for most likely years. And yeah, it totally rewired my thinking of 3D as a business, because I started to understand that the value for the work is way higher than I have perceived it. And ever since, this has shaped my whole business. So I took this, as I said, as a wake up call, and I started rethinking. I started stepping back, and of course, from that point on, I always charged this higher rate, which of course meant that I lost some clients, but I lost about half the clients. So I had half the work I had before for the same amount of money. And this was freeing up so much time for me to really work on my business and not just work for those clients that were always underpaying me. So I was in a way better situation than before, and all just from this one call. This new way of seeing me and the 3D business opened up a whole new area. Like, now I had the time to think about business and to structure myself and come up with a strategy. And base of that strategy is, of course, this new way of pricing, or was this new way of pricing. And this led to the decision that from that point on, I always challenge my own pricing. So basically, with at least every second or third new client that I talk to, I challenge the pricing by demanding higher pricing, because you never know what the ceiling is if you don't ask for it. And yeah, you will lose one or two because you overshoot with your pricing, but this was the way how I since then constantly could raise my prices based to the market value. Just ask for more and see what happens. It's as simple as that. And if you asked for too much, this also doesn't necessarily mean that they say no thank you, but maybe they will start to haggle a bit or whatever. But there's a conversation that will not end right away unless you overshoot by a lot. So basically, with every, at least once a year, but with every few new client talks, just raise your price by 5%, 10%, see what happens. If you don't get into a discussion with them, they just eat the price, you know it was too low, so directly the next one, 5% more again. Up until the moment where too many people said no, then you know you hit the momentary ceiling. This is a simple way of finding out where your value is, by just demanding more. And once all the pricing topic is something you control to a certain level, of course, but it's something you now feel comfortable with, this opens up more possibilities for you to grow your business, because you have one pillar of your business under control, which leads to you having free head, not only time, but free mental capacity for other topics, your positioning, your niching, whatever there is you want to work on. But you need to have the time, and to have the time, you need to, when you work, have a decent enough wage that you are able to set some time apart to work on your business. Because as a freelancer, you're not just an employee exchanging time for money, you're building a business. You need time for strategy, for business development, and you can only have this time when you are basically able to only work half the month and still have enough money in the bank to have a decent life, because you need a lot of time sometimes to build something new, to accelerate your business. And tackling a fair pricing, a fair rate you charge, is the number one thing you need to set to free up this time. Otherwise, you're just working for cents on the dollar, basically, and just always hustling, and you are basically on the road to burnout with that. This is not something you want to be. Believe me, I was there back in that time because of my bad pricing and my undercharging. And with this one call, all changed. So let this be a lesson for you. Uh, don't wait for the random call where you just, like me, randomly out of luck hop into that situation. Try it with the next client. Maybe not doubling like I did. This was an extreme example, but ask for higher rates, 10%, something more. Get in the mindset of growth and not just staying where you are. If you need help with this topic or other 3D business topics, 3D freelancing business topics, make sure to join my free community. You will find the link in my bio. Also, it will help me out very much if you leave a subscription and turn on notification. See you on the next one.